Roosevelt changed the world in one lifetime. She changed the perspective of the First Lady and women in general. Eleanor helped people all over the world that were in need. She took a more open role as the First Lady. She made a point to the country that First Ladies aren't just there for moral support. They are there to make the world a better place. And that is exactly what Eleanor did. Eleanor broke down so many barriers. Eleanor Roosevelt, How She Changed the Role of the First Lady, by Allie Graves. Eleanor Roosevelt was born on October 11, 1884, in New York. She did not exactly have a happy childhood, despite being born into a very wealthy family. She was a shy little girl. They had a large house in the city and a summer house in the country. She got almost everything she wanted, except her mother's affection. Eleanor's mother, Anna Hall Roosevelt, came from a beautiful family. Anna was quite disappointed when Eleanor was born. Eleanor's looks were just like any ordinary girl, unlike the rest of her family. When Eleanor was just 6, her mother told her that she had no looks and that she should learn manners. After being shunned by her mother, she became closer with her father. Eleanor's father, Elliott Roosevelt, was the younger brother of Theodore Roosevelt, who served as President of the United States from 1901 to 1909. Elliott believed in all things good, except he had one flaw that slowed his life down. He was an alcoholic. When Eleanor was 8, her mother died of diphtheria. After her mother's death, her father's alcohol addiction got worse. 2 years later, her father died. Eleanor and her 2 younger brothers went to go live with their maternal grandmother in New York. Soon after her older brother died, she wasn't even 10 years old yet. When Eleanor was 15, she attended a school for young women in Southfields, England. There she learned a sense of service and responsibility to society. She was 19 when she returned to New York. There, she continued her work for the good of others. In 1902, Eleanor fell in love with a distant cousin. His name was Franklin Roosevelt. They met on a train to Tivoli, New York. She kept her love for Franklin a secret until they got engaged on November 22, 1903. After a long engagement, they then got married of March of 1905. They had 6 children, one whom died as an infant. Her and her family lived in New York. Franklin went on many trips around the world. Eleanor was packing his stuff one day when she found numerous love letters to her secretary. She then offered a divorce to Franklin, but Franklin's mother demanded that they shall not divorce. Eleanor worked for the Red Cross during World War I. In 1921, Franklin contracted polio, which caused him lost all use in his legs. This was a major turning point in Eleanor's life. During this time, Eleanor became a more public figure. She started speaking and working for the Women League of Voters. She began to earn money by writing, lecturing, and broadcasting. The money she earned, she gave to people in need.
Must come about in the hearts of people. We must want our fellow human beings to have rights and freedoms which give them dignity and which will give them a sense that they are human beings that can walk the earth with their heads high and look all men in the face. If we observe these rights for ourselves and for others, I think we will find that it is easier in the world to build peace, because war destroys all human rights and freedoms. So in fighting for those, we fight for peace.
In 1932, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected President of the United States of America. Eleanor didn't even know Franklin was running for president. In fact, she didn't even want him to become president. Later, Eleanor wrote, "The presidency was the end of my own personal life." Eleanor and Franklin moved into the White House. Eleanor immediately moved around the furniture the first week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm speaking to you tonight at a very serious moment in our history. The Cabinet is convening and the leaders in Congress are meeting with the President. The State Department and Army and Navy officials have been with the President all afternoon. In fact, the Japanese ambassador was talking to the President at the very time that Japan's airships were bombing our citizens in Hawaii and the Philippines and sinking one of our transports loaded with lumber on its way to Hawaii.
Franklin faced challenges in office due to the Great Depression and unequal rights between people of color. Eleanor had many friends and advisors that were African American. Eleanor was invited to a meeting in Alabama. At the time, Alabama was segregated. Eleanor wanted to sit near her friend, Mary Bethune, but by the law she couldn't. So she picked up her chair and moved it to the aisle between the blacks and the whites. The police did not dare to arrest her since she was the First Lady. Eleanor was very popular and loved to help out. She received more request letters than any other First Lady. By the end of the year of 1933, Eleanor received 301,000 pieces of mail. Eleanor refused to have the Secret Service follow her around, so she carried a pistol in her pocket. Unfortunately, on April 12, 1945, Franklin Delano Roosevelt died while in office. Eleanor, thinking she would retire a quiet, peaceful, private life, she was back in public. Soon after, Eleanor became a part of the United Nations, and she earned a title, First Lady of the World. Sadly, Eleanor died on November 7, 1962, in New York City from aplastic anemia, tuberculosis, and heart failure. She was 78 years old. Eleanor Roosevelt broke down so many barriers and walls in her lifetime. Eleanor advanced social causes like female rights, African American rights, and many more. She kept on going even after she was the First Lady. She made the world a better place, and she truly changed the role of the First Lady.